Hey, everybody. Welcome to Vanderpump Guys. I'm Brian,
And I'm Ryan.
and we're the Vanderpump Guys recapping episode 8 and episode 9 of season 11 today. Also, let me just plug it up top today. Email address vanderpumpguys@gmail.com. You got a question, a comment, a concern for us? Me and Ryan are happy to tackle it on the next one. Just shoot us an email at vanderpumpguys@gmail.com. Ryan, you want to read the synopsis to episode 8 for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Peaks and valleys. Katie and Lala hash out their issues after a blowout argument. Sandoval throws himself back into the dating pool. Ariana warns Scheana about the consequences of rekindling a friendship with Sandoval.
But wait, there's more. We're also covering episode 9, Kiss Kiss, Revenge Bang. I see what they're going for. Not the greatest title. Schwartz makes a startling revelation to Lala about a past hookup that sends Katie spiraling. James hosts a DJ night at Hotel Ziggy. Ariana and Katie encounter new issues in opening their sandwich shop. And Brock drops a bombshell about a recent liaison. All right, sounds like we really got our work cut out for us today.
Absolutely. So the first thing that happens is Katie and Lala make amends. I have no memory of this conversation.
All I remember is they had a very adult conversation. They acknowledged each other's toxic traits, and Lala said something to the effect of, I'm nervous about the way we fight with each other because one day we may say something in the heat of battle that we never recover from.
Yes, that was very telling. I feel like Katie at this point in the show is kind of like checked out in a way that feels appropriate for where she's gotten to. Lala is almost like too good at being on the show where she knows how she comes across so well. Like I miss the Lala of, I think it was her first or second season where, she finds out that James slept with somebody else and she's just like hitting him while he's trying to DJ.
Yeah, vintage Lala. She is, I think you're totally right. She is maybe the most aware of controlling her image on the show. And it's very interesting seeing her on the Valley pop up because you could tell like how good she was at TV by how she kind of took the brakes off. And when people would like have crazy drama, she'd just kind of be in the background and be like, oh, wow, that's pretty crazy. I'm not the main character, though. Enjoy.
Yeah. Which is kind of like, I mean, it does kind of make me wonder about her kind of getting closer with Sandoval. Like that she kind of like seems pretty open to something potentially with him. I
like
wonder if it's a no, not like a hookup, but that like I think the door is open for her to being friends with Sandoval. Or what do you
Who do
think?
you think
Do you agree?
Lala's more likely to hook up with, Schwartz or Sandoval?
I really want Lala and Schwartz to date. I think
He's certainly pushing it. He's got a lot of jokes about how they're not dating.
I mean, I just think if you look at both the people who Lala previously was with Randall, who had a lot of power, but was obviously like a scumbag. I think Lala needs to be the number one guy in the relationship. And she would definitely be that with Schwartz. But Schwartz, for all of his faults, he owns a bar. I feel like he has enough of a platform now that he could, he was on that Mars show on Fox, that I think he's like a credible person that she could be with, and it wouldn't be like the most embarrassing thing in the world, as opposed to somebody like Scheana, who's with Brock, who is like broke. Like I just think like I don't know. I just think I guess there's more than two people in the world. Like, you don't need to date Brock or Schwartz, but I like the idea. Do you like Lala and Schwartz dating? Do you like that idea?
No, I don't like anything about that. I think we're 5 minutes into the episode and we've already attacked Brock again. we're always coming at Brock on this show.
Would you like to say some words in support of Brock?
I would. I think Brock's workout app has a lot of potential.
Have you used it?
No, but I feel like the way he described it, that one episode it was vaguely alluded to, really got me pumped for what could be.
That's I wonder if he can put that like as a blurb on the
I think that's released. The pull quote from we know Brock is a big listener of Vanderpump Guys, and he's gonna love this one. And then we go into Tom's sexy singles pool party. That was pretty fun, huh? Got all the heavy hitters. We got that guy Jason.
What's her face?
What's her face? We got that guy who works at either Sir or Tom Tom. I can't remember.
I got to tell you, those two women who were like, I guess the main women that he invited to the pool party. The fact that I don't know what those producers did to get them sign agreements to appear on camera. That was rough stuff. If somebody told me
very uncomfortable.
Somebody told me there was a PA standing right out of frame with just holding a gun or something.
He just kept making really terrible jokes. Like, and he say he's like, I lived with my ex of 9 years, and I shoved crushed potato chips under her door. I'm just kidding. Cheers to staying positive and testing negative. No, I'm just kidding. Knowing me, I'll probably be married next year. I'm just kidding. He's got jokes.
There is this Sandoval thing where I feel like before the Sandoval thing hit, he was always just kind of like commenting on other people's situations. He was always just kind of yelling at people about what they were going through. I feel like this is the first time that he needs to build his own narrative, and he's doing a terrible job
flailing. At it. Poor guy. Being the lead singer of a cover band is just not going to do it. He needs a little more. And to Schwartz's credit, the better Tom Schwartz takes maybe 5 minutes in that party, and then he's like, yeah, there's a really weird vibe here. I need to leave immediately. I'll see you later. Maybe not the best idea to have this hookup party while you're still living with your ex that you cheated on. See ya. Good time.
Schwartz should stop being friends with him. I really feel that.
I don't know. Sandoval lost Schwartz. I think he'd be in a very bad place. He'd only have.
But we can't make every decision about this is what's best for Schwartz. Sandoval's got to figure out a path,
Who's Schwartz's new best friend? Was he going to hang out with Brock and James all the time? It's not going to work.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, but we actually do know in episode 9 who Schwartz's real best friend is.
Spoilers. So then Scheana and Ariana make amends. I don't even remember that. What was that?
I do love the idea of people who like they listen to us recapping episode 8, and then they're like, all right, I'm going to turn this off and watch episode 9.
If anyone made it to the 10-minute mark in this podcast, please write in to vanderpumpguys@gmail.com and tell us why. Why did you stay? Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? This is where Scheana's holding Maya's paw, and Maya's kind of helping Scheana through the Dancing with the Stars conversation with Ariana.
Yes, this is so painful. This is like as longtime Vanderpump Guys, listeners know, Brian Ariotti, you are an Emmy Award winning producer. Like, imagine if I had been Imagine if I had been like, like I sat you down and I'm just like, Brian, I really wish I had won an Emmy. It's like, yeah, man, I worked on a project. It was nominated for an Emmy. I won an Emmy. Yeah, but imagine if I had won it. Like, that's what Scheana sounds like. She sounds like
she does.
absolutely unhinged.
But I think there's a little more to the story that's not being covered in the edit. I saw an interview with her where she did talk about being at a party with the showrunner of Dancing with the Stars, and they were like, we got to get you on next season. Let's make this happen. And they were in contact very heavily. So I think they led her on pretty aggressively. And then the Ariana Sandoval thing broke, and they were like, oh, Ariana's a way better catch.
Yeah, I guess also that would be...
Scheana's like taking dance lessons, hoping that she one day gets invited.
That would also be like if Emmy came up to me and was like, "Oh, Ryan, I hope you win one of my Emmys."
Emmy, the titular host of the Emmys. Yeah. So I don't know. Dancing with the Stars. Then Schwartz and Joe go on a date. Yeah.
Did you watch Dancing with the Stars? Did you watch Dancing with the Stars when Ariana?
No, I've never seen a minute of it. You?
No, I can't imagine anything I'd rather watch.
What about would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch Rudy Giuliani on Masked Singer?
I would watch that. Well,
that does sound pretty good now.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're going to cover VPR episode 10, VPR episode 11, Valley episode 3, Valley episode 4, and Rudy Giuliani's episode of Masked Singer. Stay tuned, folks.
Something to look forward to.
So, Schwartz and Joe go on a date to Echo Park. Joe has never been to Echo Park before. Crazy. They pedal swan boats, and Joe reveals that she used to walk her pet turtle on a leash, and it fell into a sewer grate.
I don't know how I feel about. I like Joe. I think Joe's fine. I have no problem with Joe. I think the girls are mean to Joe.
They are definitely mean to girl. To Joe. I think I knew I liked Joe when in her testimonial, the way she sat on the chair, she sitting like bow-legged, her legs on the chair. Everyone else just sits on it like a chair. Joe, she really carves her own path, and I think she is. I think she's good for the show.
Do you think, what do you think the process is like? Do you think, a producer says, hey, Schwartz, I noticed you've been hanging out with Joe a lot lately. Maybe we should get her on the show. Do you think Joe pitches to Schwartz, hey, what if I was on the show? How do you think Joe ends up being a part of, the show?
Yeah, I think Joe, every night, writes out some index cards of some things she could do, like turtle story, sitting on the chair all funny, making the robot noises, making the noise that Dino from the Flintstones is always making when he runs out of the room. And I think she just pitches those to Alex Baskins, and Alex Baskins is yeah, this is good. Is that the name of the person?
Pretty sure, yeah. I gotta say,
it's definitely close enough to the name if I butchered it.
Since you brought up Alex Baskins, I'll just say a little disappointed so far in the Valley, and he's an executive producer on that too. And I'm just kind of maybe you got it. Maybe you just need to give it a full season, right? I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, it's kind of it's worse Vanderpump Rules. It's oh yeah, here's if you don't like Tom and Tom, here's two worse friends to enable Jax, Jesse and the other guy. Oh, Jesse's terrible.
Yeah, the Valley's imagine if you had the cast of Vanderpump Rules, but they were just not interesting. I'm yeah, no, imagine.
Here it is. Now, here's a question. What do you think is more likely to happen? The Valley season 2 or Vanderpump Rules season 12?
Ooh.
My money's on Valley season 2.
I'm going to say Vanderpump Rules season 12, just because there was that recent TikTok video where Andy Cohen said that he's just watched the last 7 episodes of this season of Vanderpump Rules and that it's like the best and he loves it. And he's like, he's not even an executive producer on it or anything. Like, he's just like, as a viewer of television, I loved it.
What's his exact title on the show?
He does the reunion.
Producer, isn't he?
No, he's not.
What?
He's on all the Real Housewives shows.
I see.
He actually started
as a producer on Vanderpump. I'm gonna Google it.
That's a good question.
Cohen, producer Vanderpump. Andy Cohen is Top Chef, Real Housewives. This is good airtime.
He's a producer on Top Chef.
Yeah, there's a good show.
Well, he used to be an executive at Bravo. Like, he was just a guy who like worked in an office, and then I think he somehow, I don't know, he like pitched himself as hosting the reunions, or came up with the idea for the Real Housewives, and then he just became an on-air talent after that.
I feel like he always gave me bad vibes on those reunions. He'd always, I don't know, he'd always have a very inappropriate question, and you could see.
Did you watch
like, Andy? What the hell?
Did you watch Schwartz on Watch What Happens Live?
Was that where he had like the like race car driver jacket on?
I don't remember his outfit, but
like a few weeks ago.
Like, yeah,
I did.
I was just struck by that Andy Cohen was basically like calling Schwartz out of shape, and Schwartz was kind of like taking it on the chin, kind of like, oh, okay. And then Andy Cohen kept giving him advice. And then at the end, Schwartz was like, well, hey, do you mind if I check in with you, Andy, during my fitness journey? And Andy was like, no, I've given you all the advice that I've got. I've said everything that I have to say about it. I was just like, geez, it's like so like not like I don't think Andy Cohen like hangs out with the Vanderpump cast, like outside of reunion.
Yeah, I think that's right. The only thing I remember about that Watch What Happens Live was Andy Cohen did a segment where he put up all of his team's dogs, and Schwartz had to guess what he thought their name was. Pretty good TV.
And next,
of good TV.
Yeah, the entire gang goes to the Belmont. I have no memory of this either. What happened here?
So this was, I believe this is the first time Ariana and Tom are like in the same room together. And you kind of have like a 90-10 split between people who want to hang with Ariana and people who want to hang with Tom. And Sandoval
remember this now. Yeah.
Keeps saying he has to take a shit. And he's like, oh, the bathrooms are so good here. I got to take a shit. Ah.
When I saw Belmont, my mind went to Belmont Steaks. I was just like, when did they go to a horse race thing? I was like,
yeah, shit.
This was kind of an episode where I just felt a little bad for Sandoval, where he's literally just sitting at the bar, and then Scheana comes over and is like, you need to do this, and you need to do that. And he's just like, okay, whatever. And then Scheana walks away, and then I had not seen James up until this point at the location. And then James, it's like a really weird edit where James is just in the frame suddenly, and he's like, Sandoval, you're screwing everything up. And I'm just like, what on earth is happening?
You're like, damn, man, you're a fucking embarrassment. What are you doing? I'm so sick of your shit. Can we clip that for the TikTok? You saying you feel bad for Tom Sandoval, by the way?
No, I don't think so.
I think we should. Yeah, then we have the next day. Tom apologizes to Katie. This was a fun one where he gives a heartfelt, sincere apology while making a protein shake. And Katie says, it's really great that you're apologizing, but apologies are just words, and it's actually fathomless. And then the word fathomless sends Tom into a blind rage. And he's like, it's fathomless? You can't fathom it, Katie? Oh, you can't even fathom that I'd be sorry? And yeah, the apology does not go well.
I didn't think he got that bad. Blind rage. I didn't think he was.
No, he got exactly that mad.
I just don't even know why he's bothering to try to talk to Katie. Like,
I think it was a response to Scheana saying the previous night, you need to take accountability. Not only did you ruin Ariana's life, but you ruined Katie's marriage. And then that put a little really seed in Tom's craw that he needs to fix everything.
That's a good point. And then there's a Sandoval breakdown.
This is.
I also don't remember this.
This is the problem with recapping something from a week ago. It's a little foggy for us. But I jotted down, is that Eminem? There's there's like a royalty-free hip-hop beat playing while Sandoval journals. And it kind of sounds like Stan. And I wonder if the producers of Vanderpump are trying to plant a seed that Sandoval is about to go like full Stan and go completely insane. And this moment is followed by Schwartz comes over and Sandoval is like, I'm being treated like I'm Scott Peterson. And Schwartz is like, didn't he murder his wife? And Sandoval says, allegedly.
that was the most eyebrow raising allegedly.
He's full of them. And this predates Tom Sandoval's New York Times profile where he makes the George Floyd comparison, I believe.
There is like a very dark pitch for like a TV show where it's like fiction, but it's like Tom Sandoval, Peterson, like just other like white men who've like wronged women, just like hanging out or something.
It does feel like Sandoval is about dangerously close to becoming like a radicalized psychopath. Like he's really on the edge.
Do we know like his politics? Yeah. I also feel like he's super new agey and stuff now, but I don't think that. I feel like this new agey thing goes along with a lot of like, libertarian, like the Venn diagram of like people who are new agey and also like believe in Pizzagate is probably bigger than you'd think.
Yeah, Sandoval is dangerously close to Pizzagate. We got to maybe go a little easy on him for a few weeks, or we're gonna see.
What's the over under Sandoval votes for RFK Jr. in the election?
Seems very likely. Could we get what do you imagine is in the YouTube algorithm of Tom Sandoval? You go on his computer and see the recommended videos there.
I would love like history. I'd love the history on YouTube.
Aaron Rodgers defends violent claims of conspiracy.
And then there was girls' game night with Brock. Oh wait, sorry. Did we get to the rest of that breakdown? In what way does he break down? I don't remember.
I believe he was like crying in a closet, and Schwartz says, "I don't know how to help Tom Sandoval anymore. There's only one thing I can do," and he text messages Jax.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, when someone's in a crisis, there's only one person to call. Jax Taylor. Yeah, so girls' game night with Brock. They get pizza bagels. They play Never Have I Ever, but with like pre-written cards. Did they buy Never Have I Ever, or do you think the producers of the show like wrote cards like talk about your threesome and your orgy?
this is an embarrassing thing to admit, but I always get confused about the rules of Never Have I Ever. So if you say,
What do you
if I
believe
say,
them to be?
well, here's my question: is like if I'm playing the game, it's my turn to say, Ryan, go ahead. It's like never have I ever had a threesome. You know, it's like I never have had a threesome, but I say that, and then anybody who has had a threesome, they have to drink. Is that how it works?
You know, I never really consider it from the reader of the Never Have I Ever, but I know as an audience, if you've done the thing, yeah, you need to drink. But I'm not clear of if you're the reader or presenter of a question, if it has to be something you did or did not do.
Because
it really doesn't matter.
Like if I'm saying never have I ever X, you know, like
you're saying you would be a liar if you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish
did Brock hang out the whole time?
Was Brock the whole
time? I thought he left. I thought
no, he was definitely there for like the main event where like Scheana was talking about having a threesome with John Mayer. Very
that's right.
Very candidly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Also, he vehemently denied these rumors.
Really?
3 days ago? Yeah, he did. But who are you going to believe, Scheana Shay or John Mayer?
I believe that John Mayer does not remember doing that.
Man, can they get like another game besides Never Have I Ever? Can we have like, I don't know, can Allie purchase Settlers of Catan or something for this game? Speaking of Allie does a reading with Joe. And she determines that Joe has a friendship bond with Schwartz based on her tarot. Pretty wild.
I saw a TikTok that was like, you know that scene in Mean Girls where I forget where I think where Rachel McAdams releases the burn book. Have you seen Mean Girls?
The original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Rachel McAdams releases the burn book and then it releases chaos on the school. And it's just like, you just have like a shot of like Rachel McAdams kind of standing there, just kind of like looking smug. And then everybody in the school is like tearing each other apart and stuff. And she's released this chaos. That it was that clip. And then it was like Allie watching all the girls fight, knowing how it's going to turn out because she's read all of their birth charts.
Whoa. You know, watching, getting ahead of ourselves, but watching episode 9, I did have the thought that this is Mean Girls, where that scene where Allie is kind of, all the 5 girls are being mean to Joe and Allie's kind of in the middle. I'm like, oh, Allie's like the Lindsay Lohan character. And, you know, she has the outcast friend in Joe. And she's like, hey guys, Joe's not that bad. And they're like, ew, Joe is gross.
I really feel like Allie, I used to think that she was like trying to get more screen time and like couldn't quite figure out the right angle with these things. Allie's a psychic. She can see the future. She knows what's going to happen. Like, why would she ever get involved in the drama? She knows exactly how it's going to unfold. I think she's actually like the number one guy in the group now, Allie.
I think you might be right. You know, everyone's pontificating over, you know, who Schwartz hooked up with in this season and what's going to happen to blah, blah, blah. But Allie knows the ending of like the Valley season 8 already. Like, she's so ahead of all these people. She don't need it.
Yeah.
But you know who do need it? Was there ever a better moment in television history than Jax Taylor stepping foot into that bar, walking through step by step, low camera by his legs, watching him enter, go up to the table, and tear Tom Sandoval into 25 pieces?
Okay, here's my question about Jax. Has Jax always just been absolutely removed from reality, or is this like a new development?
I think it's gotten worse over time. I think I think when his father passed away, it gave him like a real jolt of reality. And then he became estranged from his mother right around this time. And I think there's a new Jax was formed in this moment. And he does seem, a lot more detached from reality than I remember him to be. But, Jax has always been kind of on edge. All I know is Tom Sandoval really fucked up for people to be this happy about a Jax Taylor return.
I for all of our listeners who also subscribe to Peacock, there is a little button now on Peacock that's like Jax recommends, and it's very striking to me. It's like a collection of like stuff that I guess Jax likes, and it's just like the most basic stuff. It's like The Office and Modern Family and Weeds and some movies I forget, but it's like
never pegged Jax for a Weeds head.
It's very. I know. I was a little surprised by that. I will say though, like the way that he talks about it, he doesn't say he like does kind of an introduction and then they show the titles. But at no point does he say like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Office." He just says these kind of like vague general things, and I can't tell if they were like, "We'll decide on the stuff," or if they said, "Hey, Jax, do you have stuff that you like from Peacock?" And he was just like, "Yeah, just do whatever. It's fine." Like I need to know how that came about.
Yeah, let's try to get Jax on the show, and we only interview him about his Peacock curation. There is something so satisfying about seeing someone like Jax just berate Sandoval. Tom Sandoval tries to be macho and yell at people sometimes, but once you put Jax in there, it can happen. Like, I don't know how old Jax is now. I'm going to guess 45 conservatively. But, like, as soon as he comes to the table, he's like, "Oh, wow, buddy. It's good to see you. I saw a picture of you on the internet, and you looked like you were 50. Like, all right, Jax, you're all almost 50. It's not that crazy a number. Jax is... You're me 7 years ago. You're a disgrace. Oh, it's just the whole thing is chef's kiss. Just everything you would want.
Here's a question. It was definitely like fun. It was a fun scene, but it really did kind of like strike me that, and maybe it's just hard to know in retrospective how you would go back and do things differently, but it really does feel like Jax and Vanderpump Rules have both gone their separate ways, and like he just doesn't really fit in on the show anymore.
No, he seems very uncomfortable. It's clearly just they're trying to do this, what do they call it? A backdoor pilot? When you,
yes.
Yeah, they're trying to do a backdoor pilot, which is, the crazy thing is Vanderpump Rules is a backdoor pilot from Real Housewives. And it's creating it's created multiple backdoor pilots, Summer House or Winter House and the Valley. But the interesting
Summer
thing
House and Winter House mostly. I thought those were like other Bravo shows also.
I mean, but they are backdoor pilots, I believe. Didn't they?
Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah.
I've never seen Summer House or Winter House.
I haven't either. But yeah, I heard it referenced.
We got to hook up with House. We got to do a crossover episode with House Guys, the Summer and Winter House recap podcast.
Oh, I thought it was going to be us watching the show House and talking about it. That's a good idea too. We should put
I
a
love
pin in that.
There's two podcasts called House Guys. One's about the show House. One's about Summer House, Winter House.
Yeah, this is a really good idea. Did you watch this episode 8 Into the Valley live by any chance?
No, but I was gonna say I really thought it was such an obvious thing to just start off the Valley with the rest of this conversation and then have Jax like drive to the Valley. Like, why didn't they do that? That's such a great idea.
What was the transition when you watched Vanderpump and the Valley? Was
I mean,
there
I
a
think I
transition
literally
between
just like
the two
clicked
shows?
on. No, I think I just clicked on the next thing, or maybe it
Oh,
all
do you know what happened live?
played. What?
Oh man, it was beautiful. So there was like an extended portion of that conversation at the dinner table, and then it cut to a Jax testimonial, and then Jax stood up from the couch and like walked off the Vanderpump Rules set into a testimonial for the Valley and sat on a different couch, and then the Valley, we were just in the episode without like the music or the title sequence or any of this. And then when I tried to rewatch this episode, it was gone. This was only a live event where you can see the transition of Jax transitioning between these two couches.
And I only say this because I have to. Are you sure you didn't imagine that? You sure that really happened?
I'm really not. It was so perfectly executed that it may have been a fever dream. And I will never know because there's no proof of this happening. But
that's such a fail.
If you are one of the rare people who watch this live, please write into vanderpumpguys@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of that live event, if it actually happened. Should we move on to episode 9?
Yeah, I mean, should we briefly discuss the Valley? I'm not sold on it. I'll reserve judgment until we watch like 10 episodes, but I'm not here for it.
Yeah, the Valley. It's pretty bad. Jax and Kristen are the number one guy and gal. And this guy Jesse's terrible. Within a 10-minute span, he assaulted Kristen, and then Lala walked in, and like in front of his wife, he's like, "Oh, it's my mistress," to a girl he's probably met one time in his entire life. And
how did that happen? Where he like grabbed Scheana's, or no, was it he grabbed somebody's boob, right? Kristen's boob?
Kristen's nipple.
That's insane.
He's one of these guys from like our college who lived in that like sketchy basement and played on the lacrosse team, and like you would hope after they stop being like 19 they would grow, but this guy is in his 40s and has not grown at all, and he's just a horrible human, it seems.
I gotta assume Kristen is like okay with this. Like I just don't understand.
No, she's not. Episode 2 of The Valley is all about how not okay she is with this.
But why is this guy still on the show then? That seems crazy to me.
I don't know.
You can't just like assault people on camera.
Well, what's interesting is there's like one normal person in the cast of The Valley, the like lawyer guy. I don't know any of their names, but the lawyer guy was kind of weighing in on, I guess, Kristen grabbed Jesse's nipple first, and him grabbing her nipple was a response. And the lawyer points out there is a different levels of assault with the nipple grabbing between a male and a female, but nonetheless, there is a provocation.
He sounds like one of those lawyers who's going to volunteer to represent Trump or something.
Nice. Seems like a nice
guy. Okay, so episode 9 of season 11, Vanderpump Rules. when they started this show, did they think that somebody on a podcast would say season 11, episode 9 of Vanderpump Rules?
Original air date March 26th, 2024.
Sandoval hangs out with Billy Lee, who, Billy Lee is just boring, I think.
Yeah, Billy Lee is boring. She's trying to set up Sandoval with her friend T.
And also
just a flashback of the pool party where Sandoval is still making his like stand-up comedy routine jokes. He's like, I got a wacky roommate. It's my ex of 9 years. Like, oh.
Also, Billy Lee like says something about Ariana, like, "Oh, I'm always so scared she's gonna walk in." It's like Ariana didn't do anything. Like, don't talk about Ariana like that.
Yeah, you don't get to talk about any of these people, Billy Lee. Your season's over. It ain't season 5 anymore. Season 11.
And then Ariana is FaceTiming with Anne, who Anne tries to get a job as Ariana's assistant.
Has Anne ever looked happier than when she was talking to Ariana?
It's also just striking because it's like we do know that Anne is no longer Sandoval's assistant, but I guess she must have known. Like, if you're on camera for Vanderpump Rules talking about how you want to be Ariana's assistant, you're not going to be Tom Sandoval's assistant much any longer, I think, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right. You know what else is right? Schwartz and Lala get smoothies. Wow, what a great moment. So like Lala orders dates in her smoothie, I believe. And then Schwartz says, "What? This is a date? No, I'm just kidding."
I've driven by that place Creation like a million times. I would never think to go inside. It looks a little weird. But I'm glad I'm
in LA and you and I are going to Creation, my friend.
Oh yeah, if Vanderpump, we should send our itinerary to Vanderpump Guys listeners so they want to meet up with us in person. We're going to be going to Jax's and Schwartz and Sandy's and Tom. So if any fans want to come by, and we'll talk to them. You know,
yeah, come meet us. We'll be signing autographs. If you want to bring in your playbill of one of our podcast eps, we're happy to sign that for you.
Yeah, we also have some new Vanderpump Guys merch available. If people want to just email us at vanderpumpguys@gmail.com, and we'll send you more details about the merch.
Yeah, we got some new baseball caps with I believe it's a picture of Ryan with a speech bubble that says, "I will fight Brock anytime, anywhere."
I don't know. I didn't sign off on that.
Well, so we'll see you there.
And then while they're getting smoothies, Schwartz reveals that he made out with Scheana, which
12 years ago.
12 years ago, Vegas. Which when we hear Sheena's side of it, it sounds like he assaulted her, right? Am I speaking out of turn here?
Her telling seems to be, he started making out with me, but I didn't like it, and then I pulled away. Maybe that's not exactly how it went down.
But that seems to be what she said.
Self-described makeout slut.
And Lala immediately, I guess Schwartz has to know when he says this that Lala is going to say something to Katie, right?
Oh, I think it was like a premeditated, very, very thought out decision to take the heat off Sandoval, right? That's the impression I got.
Man, do you think it was Sandoval's idea?
Oh, no. I mean... Well, that makes it so much worse. I think Schwartz is a good enough friend that he would want to come up with this idea on his own without Sandoval prying. But oh man, imagine.
Cut back to 10 years earlier. Sandoval goes up to Schwartz. "I feel like you got to kiss Scheana tonight." "Wait, why?" "I don't know. If I ever get into trouble, I might need it."
We also learned that Lala makes vagina jokes when she gets nervous. Pretty wild.
It's true. It's true.
Then we
I gotta say once again.
I
gotta say one more thing. I just like Schwartz and Lala's energy. I think they'd be a good couple.
They got chemistry, don't they?
Chemistry.
There's a lot of flirty banter between those two.
There's some give and take.
Lala and then, has a line that, "Schwartz, if we ever had sex, I would break your dick off."
And Schwartz said,
"Wild thing to say."
Go on.
Yeah, James Kennedy DJ set at Hotel Ziggy. Almost stayed at Hotel Ziggy in the future.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is the first time we see Scheana drinking this season. And boy, does she come in hot to this DJ.
She was slurring her words. She was like when Katie confronts her later, it's like she sounds
her eyes are crazy.
She sounds drunk.
She's so mean to Joe. Take your hat off. Take off your hat.
Yeah. And then I am curious about how popular James Kennedy is. Like we've spoken off mic about theories that maybe Lala and Scheana and the Toms will move over to the Valley. And somebody had mentioned like, oh, James doesn't need this show anymore. He's like becoming a popular DJ. And I'm just kind of like, I just don't know how that works. You know, like I don't know how much money he's making as a DJ.
Yeah, I don't know if Hotel Ziggy is a great gig. It seemed like kind of a light crowd. Scheana's trying to usher everyone over there because he's just DJing to no one in the corner. I do think both Toms definitely go to the Valley. They've made amends with Jax. All is good. Lala gets her own show. Give them Lala. Scheana just kind of bounces around between all the shows. She's everybody's friend. Maybe they bring on like some new young surcast onto Vanderpump Rules.
We've tried that before. It didn't work.
It's like do you think
is there a thing with yeah? Is there a thing with James Kennedy where it's like, okay, yeah, it was a light crowd, but maybe it's like a private event. Like maybe it's like Hotel Ziggy like is closed off for filming because they do kind of like seem to own that upstairs rooftop lounge area. I don't know, just a theory.
Yeah, maybe it'd probably get pretty cluttered in there in the heat of Sandoval if people saw Vanderpump Rules as filming in here and DJ James Kennedy and Ariana and Tom are both there. Who wouldn't want to come in and be an extra in that?
And then Sandoval asks Ariana if she got his email.
It's the most awkward scene of all time. Hey, Ariana, I just wanted to say I sent you this email a few weeks ago, and if you could just respond to it, that would be great. The most icy, stone-cold face we've ever seen. Ariana.
And Lala later says that she felt bad for Sandoval. Like, do not feel bad for Sandoval. Like,
she also says Katie felt bad for Sandoval, which I find hard to believe.
Yeah, there's no world in which that's true.
Lala is also very amused in this scene. She's just laughing throughout.
And then Katie confronts Scheana about making out with Schwartz back in 2013. I think we should be past this. Who cares?
12 years ago.
Let's move on. I think Katie, I guess Katie, I mean, do you think Katie asked Schwartz to bring this up because she needs something to talk about?
No, I don't. I think Katie is genuinely pissed at him. And I think it's kind of a bad look for Katie I think Katie gets the high ground if she just is like, he's such a loser. Just add that to the list of what a dirtbag he is. But the fact that she is really bothered about it and keeps bringing it up is just, you're better than that, Katie. You don't need to get dragged into the Schwartziverse.
Yeah.
So, and then Schwartz and James and Lala and Sandoval all get lunch together. Isn't there another I'm just kidding from Schwartz and Lala?
I don't know.
Yeah, like Lala, I think Lala's like, yeah, when you and Joe hang out, do you guys make out? And he's like, no, it's like when me and you hang out, Lala. There's no sex yet. I'm just kidding.
I do not remember that. That's horrifying.
I think that's where the "I would break your dick if we fucked" thing was dropped.
And then Lala Sandoval asked Lala to come over the next day, and she asked to think about it.
To his breathwork workshop.
I will give Sandoval this credit. Like, he's like a classic like Disney villain where he really is going to go around and like get everybody on his side, like just like Ariana predicted, you know?
Yeah.
He's such a scumbag.
You ever see that meme of I don't know how to describe a meme on a podcast, but it's like guys would rather blank first than do therapy, and the blank is just heightened every time. Like, Sandoval would rather like engage in like an ice bath or breath work or all these like non-therapeutic things he chooses before therapy. We cut to Sandoval. He's just hyperventilating on the floor, blindfolded with headphones. This man he hired is like doing a live podcast from like the corner where he's like spouting Tony Robbins isms at him. It's a very, very strange thing for Lala to walk into.
Should we try to book this guy while you're in LA? Should we do a session?
I think it would be nice, yeah, if you and I did some therapeutic breath work. So they go out back. Lala reveals that every straight man is a trigger for her, and it's not just Sandoval. It's that she texted him a lot to congratulate him on his bar, and he did not respond to her text messages.
Well, I found this very striking. I found it like Lala is basically talking to Sandoval. It felt very much like the scene in The Sixth Sense where like Haley Joel Osment's telling, if anybody hasn't seen Sixth Sense spoilers ahead. Haley Joel Osment's telling Bruce Willis, like they're ghosts. They're dead people. They don't know they're dead people. And Lala's basically telling Sandoval, like, yeah, I feel like you never really, were there for me. You never responded. You were never interested in being my friend. And Sandoval's just nodding. And I'm sitting there screaming at the television, like, Lala, because he's only trying to be friends with you now because nobody else wants to be friends with him. Do not fall for this. Like, yeah, I just think Lala's too smart. I think she must be playing a game.
I think she is playing a game. I think Lala low-key hates Ariana, and everything she does is motivated by that. I think she's very jealous that Ariana got all this attention, and Scheana, to her credit, is very upfront about her jealousy. I think Lala holds it in a lot.
Credit. It's not smart of Scheana to do this. I think Lala's a lot more savvy, and I think Lala is the number one guy in the group, or she's trying to prove that she is,
Oh, she'll get there. Give them Lala.
And then something about her sandwich tasting.
Sandwich tasting, number 2.
Round 2. I did last night. I checked something about her Instagram.
Yeah.
Everything's been removed. There's no merch.
What do you mean everything's been removed?
There's nothing. Go to it right now. There's nothing up there. Maybe I'm breaking news right now. There's nothing. They used to have all these posts. They used to have like a link to the merch, and it's all gone. So I just
really.
And then you go to their website.
Did you hear the ghost kitchen rumor?
No.
I think they got a partnership with Uber Eats where you're going to be able to order something about her sandwich in any major city pretty soon, but it's going to be made at like a fucking Panera or something, and they'll just deliver it to you. They just like share the recipe with a bunch of people.
Where'd you see this? Where is this?
On Reddit.
I don't. Because I was literally last night. I was googling something about her news, and there was nothing about a ghost kitchen or anything.
Yeah, no, some guy on Reddit said it though.
Yeah, some guy on Reddit.
Make that up. That's such a specific thing to make.
Maybe he said like, oh, imagine if they did this.
No, he said they're doing this. I'm
Did he
I'm
link
the president
anything
of
with
Uber
this article?
Eats?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's all I'm going to say. Let it be known that I stand firmly in the ghost kitchen will happen, and Ryan is strongly against it. 1 year from today, we'll see who is right.
I'm not saying Ghost Kitchen will not happen. It very well could. It's a good theory by this guy who's not a journalist who's on Reddit. I'm just saying for us, I mean, we're not journalists in this capacity, but let's just not say anything. Let's just not, let's just not say
I
stuff.
think we should break the news. This is an official announcement. Vanderpump guys are breaking the story. It might be news.
It might be news. That's the official motto of Truth Social. It might be news. But
the guy seemed very convincing. I checked his
the
profile.
Guy. Yeah. He's not. Is he the which egg is he on? What's like the Reddit egg? Is he the little? He's the ghost guy, kind of like.
What is a Reddit egg?
They have like just like standard. I don't know. But Lala and James both get in some good digs about how this is exactly the same as the sandwich tasting from the previous summer.
Yep.
James gets
a good editor thing.
Editor thing with with the can we fast forward?
Does like a fast forward graphic where they like scrub through the streaming platform to a James Kennedy joke, his funniest line of the season, where Schwartz is like, "I want a big sandwich with a bunch of meat," and James is like, "Well, Tom loves himself a sloppy Joe, he does."
That was very funny. Everyone laughed.
Nailed it.
I do feel like James canceled for whatever Kristen accused him of, but a joke's a joke. Funny joke's a funny joke.
Ariana talks about a $6,000 vet bill from Sandoval letting Maya into her room, and he consumed chicken satay skewers, and
is the dog just died. Eating like wooden sticks and stuff?
It's like sticking out of poor Maya's stomach. What a mess.
And then Brock spills tea to Schwartz, which is that Katie slept with Schwartz's best friend Max. Which the real tea is
season 8.
The real tea is that Sandoval is not Schwartz's best friend. I found that very.
Yeah, the way this happened on the live broadcast, Brock is like, "She needs to get off a high horse. She fucked your best friend, bro." Commercial break. And I was like, what? She fucked Sandoval? It's insane.
Wait, so do you have cable? How do you watch it live?
I was watching on Hulu.
Oh, you have Hulu Live?
Yeah, I do for a few months.
That's sick.
I promised Sam we could watch the Emmys on the Fox app, but then when I went on the Fox app, it wasn't there, and then I panicked, realizing I had accidentally lied to her, making an assumption about the Fox app. So then I went on Hulu. And I was like, I got to figure out how to stream this really quick because I don't have cable. And I got Fox Live on Hulu, and now I have a few more months.
Oh, and for Vanderpump guys fans listening at home, Sam is Brian's girlfriend. You guys have been together what, 6 years?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
5?
So sorry, ladies listening. Brian is taken, as am I.
Nope.
I'm also taken.
Yeah, we are both taken men. Sorry. Speaking of taken men, this Max Boyens, he's taken a few lovers in his day. The former Tom manager. Longtime fans will remember him from season 8. He had a romance with Scheana. He had a romance with Danya, who hosts a podcast with Katie now. He had a romance with Kristen. Max was really made the rounds.
Was Danya a regular on Vanderpump Rules?
She was.
That's
season
crazy. Wait, was she the comedian one? The one who was like, I'm
She
funny?
was. Ariana and her had a famous blowout over their taste in comedy.
I do not care for Danya on the podcast with Katie. It's rough.
It's rough. Then
just
Sandoval arrives, and he's got T with him, who is his new 25-year-old flame. Ariana talks to T. Says, "You can do better than a 41-year-old narcissist." Brock talks to T, and he says, "Oi, your name's T, like a tea bag."
God.
Is this another episode of Brock and Ock?
I don't know. And then and then what's his name? And then I was curious if Scheana felt like, do you think Scheana and Brock planned that, or do you think no? You think it was like Brock?
No, I think Scheana has never looked more genuinely pissed at anyone than she looked at Brock when he spilled the tea that she wanted to spill.
She literally turned into a Looney Tunes character when she's like, "I'm so mad at him right now." It's like, Jesus.
She's never been angrier in 11 seasons than that moment. Brock. This whole thing is found out because Scheana tracks 100 people's locations on her phone, and she was watching Katie and Max and saw their little locations line up. And as Brock says, she's a location collector.
Yeah, why does everybody agree to share their look? I would not, of all the people on Vanderpump Rules, I would not share my location with Scheana. That would not be a thing.
Who would you share your location with first?
Ooh, great question. Probably James. I don't think he would care what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, it's a good answer. James would never look at it.
He would never look at it.
Yeah, maybe Schwartz. He seems like he wouldn't look at it either. He's got too much going on.
Joe would be fun to share your location with Joe. Joe would be like, "Oh, you getting coffee? Maybe I'll pop over." And then you just look out the window, and Joe is just cartwheeling to the front of the coffee shop.
She puts a thumb in her mouth and inflates like a balloon and just floats past the window.
You look into the sky, and you see a parachute coming down, and it's Joe in a parachute, and she just crashes through the glass.
Scheana's on the couch holding Maya's paw. Then Maya unzippers her fur, and Joe just pops out and is holding Scheana's hand. And then those editors, those Vanderpump Rules editors, they have a little fun again with the ending of this episode where Lala is like, "I need to leave. This is wild. You're all insane people." And then it turns into a true crime documentary, and they do these black and white zoom ins. It's Ariana is lying about this house, and Schwartz and Scheana are hiding this makeout they had 12 years ago, and Katie's hiding this thing with Max, and I'm just done with all these dishonest people.
I think the Ariana thing, that I did like that edit. I do think the Ariana thing is whatever. She doesn't have to move out. You know, I just think I offer her a lot of grace. I don't think Ariana needs to do anything she doesn't want to do. He should move out of the house. He should absolutely move out of the house, Sandoval.
Yeah, it seems like they're stuck in this limbo, and Tom is trying to kick the ball forward, but he's kicking it in the direction of something he wants to do, selling the house or buying her out.
Selfish. He's so selfish.
Yeah, it's important to see what Ariana actually wants to do here. But it seems like, according to recent news, they no longer live together, which Very happy for both of them.
Very happy.
Very happy.
I'm only happy for her. I'm only happy for her. I'm not happy for him.
This is the guy who 21 minutes ago said, I feel bad for Tom Sandoval.
And I take that back. I regret it.
Well, we did it.
We did it.
Do we want to talk about the Valley episode 2?
I didn't watch it.
I watched it. It was bad.
Ugh. I'll catch up, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, definitely do that. Don't walk, run.
All right, everybody. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks with recaps of
live at our live podcast taping at TomTom, Jack's Studio City, and Schwartz and Sandy's.
Maybe. We'll be there if you guys want to show up.
Vanderpumpguys@gmail.com.
All right, till then.
All right, see you later, Ryan. And
see you later, Brian.